Hello and welcome back to another episode of CE Talks. Our host Kevin will be joined by Mr. Ananda Reddy, who is the founder and CEO of Energenius. They will be discussing topics such as the challenges faced by businesses during the lockdown, how parents should groom their children to choose a professional career, and so on.
Hi Anand, welcome.
Thank you. Welcome. Namaskara. Yeah. Given the situation, I think many things are good, especially because now people are wanting to learn more. So it's given them the time to learn more in this lockdown and the COVID situation. So in a way, that is good for us.
So as a business, how has this lockdown changed you as a perspective,
See, yes, I have been wanting to go online and offer my services to a large number of people, because physically when we are there, it takes only a very small number of people. But I could never get enough time to set up things there. So now already this period has given me time to do that as well. So hopefully my first course, which will be for about 12 weeks in totality, is going to be starting sometime in the first week of June. So it will be so my offering would be a much more deeper than just simply one call or one video or something instead of that. It's a full-fledged course which is going to be on how you can attract your customers instead of chasing them. And now, as soon as the situations of this will develop and there would be more as the economic activity picks up, people need to be ready to take care of that and use this time to set up their complete marketing funnels, marketing channels, and relook at their offerings. So all that is going to happen. So the first course is going to be based on how to attract customers. So that should start from June. I wouldn't have been able to do that if it was not for for this lockdown period. I wouldn't have got so much of time to do with this.
Actually, this lockdown period gave you as a entrepreneur more time for yourself as well.
Absolutely. This time that spent with family was really good, and as a family we came down from 3 meals to 2 meals because we said we were all together. So everything was falling in place. We were becoming healthier with a little bit of more time for exercise, more time for chatting with family members. That has also been very helpful.
Yeah, because what I've seen now is many families now, when they're sitting together, they're like understanding that this is the best time. Like God has given us the time to sit together. Otherwise, everyone's busy with their own life.
Very, 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 very true. So it's a lot of good things has been happening with that.
When coming to your business before the lockdown, was it? Would you give online classes like this, or like the course which you're planning now? Were you able to do that?
Yeah, that's been there on the, I would say, as a back burner, though how much ever I wanted to push it forward because of the various commitments, helping many entrepreneurs to grow their business. It used to take away so much of the time. So putting the technological things together and then making a lot of videos and things like that was, it would have been a much later period. So probably sometime towards the end of this year I would have come up with it. So certainly about at least 6 months we could advance it because of this.
When did you first think like this should be your way of going to a business? Like you want to teach others of how to attract customers, or like because your journey is you used to do work in Taj group of companies here before.
Yes.
So
yeah.
When did you think of changing your path?
Okay. Maybe I can just start even a little bit before. I come from a family of teachers. I remember as a child telling, I will not become a teacher. Okay, now a coach is another name for a teacher. Because even today, a lot of teachers are not paid well. Okay, that was one of the things for it. And so when I did my hotel management and started with the Taj group of hotels for about nearly 16 years. I was as a chef. I worked and in the complete operations. But somewhere, be coming from a family of teachers, this joy in sharing knowledge has always been there. So I used to do a lot of training programs within the company. So the company also noticed and said that, look, we also need a regional manager training for the Madras region or Chennai region. And they asked, would you like to take it up? Said, yes, I would be very happy with that. And then doing that, I got a chance to go to Abu Dhabi and work for a Fortune 500 company in the learning and development space, and that was a fantastic experience. So when we returned from Abu Dhabi, I decided that I would spend more time in the academic world. I said, corporate, I've done enough, so let me now go more into that. So I started as a visiting professor, then I moved on, I worked as a principal actually in 2 colleges. So initially when I started with the students, I did not know much about the academic world. But from the industry, what kind of training we were giving and how we were helping people to develop their skills very quickly, a lot of those methods I used it with my students and they found to be very good. And then later on I realized that yes, this is the way things need to move. And I created a whole system out of it called as SMILE. Now what is SMILE? It's an acronym for Self-Managed In-Depth Learning. See, learning has to take place, means if you want to use it, you need to get in-depth learning. And then say, if you are hungry and I eat, will your stomach be full? No, other way also it doesn't work. So learning is for mind, food is for the body. So learning also should be the individual pursuit. So we developed this and gave the tools for accelerating learning for the students. How they need to do what they learn. They started enjoying it. Then later on when I became a principal, I started sharing it with my other colleagues, other lecturers and teachers, and they started enjoying it. So it got turned into on the ground. As we move forward, it became a complete system. And so then I started sharing it with after coming out of being a principal, I started sharing it with teachers in the schools as well as to how they can help the children to take up the responsibilities for their learning. Since they take the responsibility for it and now they have the tools, they can go and learn as much as they want. And nobody need to master all the subjects. So they get to choose whatever is the best for them. And in that they actually master and become world class. So even the school teachers and college professors and lecturers have started seeing the benefit of this system. So this is one part of my journey. And another part of my journey is I am a serial entrepreneur. I started about 6 businesses and successfully failed in about 2 businesses in that. So 4, yes, we managed and it is going on well and it continues to grow even without my presence. So that is what has given me the combining my experience as an entrepreneur and combining my industry exposure and the academic exposure. I said, okay, I started helping. Actually, a friend asked me to help him out and I started like that. Then they said, no, why don't you do this a little more and help more people? So converted that into an offering and then, started doing it with the people. That is how actually business coaching has started, whereas I was focusing more on the training of the teachers. And I also realized the entrepreneurs are very eager and they want to really grasp because they have to make the business profitable. Now the situation is very bad. But even before that also, a businessman's journey is not an easy journey. So they needed to keep looking at it and make those things happen.
You mentioned like coaching parents also to bring out the best in the child. So when you think about our generation or maybe like previous generations, there was always a dilemma that you should always be a doctor, engineer, or even a CA, BCom student. So yes. Currently many students, there are different parts of life now, like there are different opportunities coming up. So how would you say the current generation of parents, like how do you think they should bring up their child like to choose their path other than these 3 options?
Yes, there are still many parents who say, you go study well, get high marks and then you go into one of these professions, either a lawyer, a doctor or an engineer. Okay. I don't think that is necessary in today's world. all right, because the technology has helped us to grow and to do many things. And so we need to identify what are the strengths of the child and develop it. So Howard Gardner had spoken and it came up with the thing called as a multiple intelligences. So I can't really handle the camera as well as my daughter can, right? She has got a more of an artistic eye. So though she has chosen up fashion designing, I completely supported her for that. All right. My son has chosen to be an engineer. I said that's okay. That is his choice, and he went in that direction. So it has to be the choice of the individual, and it should match with the strength of the individual. So that is what I want to tell to the parents. And today there is absolutely no problem. The necessity is they should be really able to compete at the world level. In other words, simply put, I would like to say they need to be world class in whichever is the area that they choose. And the options are many options are there. Earlier those options were not there for us. Okay, so now that this generation, and I hope there will be more options as it keeps moving forward. So people should pursue their strengths and should not struggle with it. But however, yes, in the SMILE system, what we teach will help them to learn better, not only from the books, but also from life's experiences, from videos, from audios, and in live interactions with the people, as people do with this. So all these are covered in that. So learning becomes extremely joyful because they master learning. That is one part of it. Second part is beyond a point they will be pursuing and in learning what they want to learn. Okay. So the drudgery is removed, and the marks and scoring high marks and being academically bright is actually a byproduct. When I was principal, I used to tell students, I said, the internal test that we conduct, your score should be 100 out of 100%. Okay, because university exams is not in my control, right? So we don't know what would happen there. But if you score in every internal test 100 out 100%, obviously you will also be excelling and one of the ranked students at the university level. So that is what it is. And this particular thing, anyone who has mastered the not even mastered, who can understand one language is good enough. But English is the now universal language. So if they understand English, because the quantum of information available in English is very high, then they can go ahead with it and excel in any subject that they choose. It doesn't really matter. So that is what is from this parents' perspective. So why I brought in parents? I brought in recently because it is the same information that we are giving to the teachers, but with a different angle I need to present to the parents because they are dealing with only 1 or 2 children at home. So that is what the parents have started. And second reason that pushed me towards the parents is now children are not in the schools, they are at home and the parents are struggling how to keep them engaged. I said that's very easy, so let's give you some tips and tools and as to what you can do and they can excel. So that is why I'm focusing on these 4 segments. But fundamentally the teachers, the students, part of it is all, and parents are all around learning and how anyone can master learning and master any subject that they want to. So it's basically 2 topics that I deal with: how you can grow your business and enhance the profits, that is on one side, and how can you learn better and master any subject that you want to master. So these are the 2 areas that I work, but the people I focus on 4 segments.
Because this reminds me of something which I've seen from Jack Ma. He's saying that he used to tell his son, I don't mind you getting 100 out of 100, but you shouldn't get low marks. Anything between the average is fine, because you should be able to learn other perspectives of life or other new skills.
Jack Ma is one of the people I also look up to. Listen to his messages on the videos, and he is one of the very nice people and who shares for it, and it is again, it is coming out of his own practical life experience. Okay, because there are many great people from whom I even today I keep learning. So I take up online courses, and I see for the things as to how the world is moving on, because I want to keep myself at the cutting edge, so that whomever I speak to and give them advice, it should be relevant for today.
So when you're coming to the lockdown, actually, you know that there are certain kinds of business which definitely went downstream in this lockdown. Like, for example, if you say restaurant businesses have gone way down.
I mean, I come from the hotel management and restaurants. In fact, I went back and started getting in touch with my old friends to ask them, in what way that I could help them. In what way that I could put across, give them ideas and things like that. So all that is happening more on because that's my first industry, and I have a deep knowledge in that, and I have a good number of people. So yes, there are a lot of things we can talk about it. So you asked me the question about what I didn't allow you to complete the question, so please complete the question.
No, I just want to say, like, for example, like these hotel management people, like, if at this point of time, how do you think they should react to the situation? Or like, I'm from Dubai, and almost all the restaurants were closed during this 2 months or something. So now it's just slowly picking up, but still it's just home deliveries over here. But what do you think how should they react, or that owners are panicking?
The situation is the same the world over. Okay, not only in Dubai. It is the same here, very much in Bangalore, so all over India. That is one part of it. And then some of my friends around the world, when I speak to them, they say, we all are in the same. So certainly hospitality, tourism, aviation, these businesses are very badly hit. Now from my experience, what is it that I can tell, or from my knowledge, what I can share is this. This is actually a good opportunity. Any business, if you take, there would be a huge amount of inefficiencies that would have crept in the whole part of it. So the Pareto principle, or the 80-20 rule, which says that 80% of your results come from 20% of your activities. So now is the time to sit and identify what are the 20% of the activities. So as the economy picks up, they can go and focus on that and do the things happen. So to do that, what do they need to do is very simple. Sit down and think through the complete business process of each area, how it is, whether it is their supply chain management, whether the services that they were putting, or the production that happens in the kitchen, or their guest interactions, and how they are tracking the data that they collect. So all that, if they look at it, they go back to the old data which already is with them, collect it, and they can study it. They will be able to see the patterns and come up with very good things that they can bounce back much faster the minute things open. So that is one part of it. The second part of it is, this is the time now to put on our thinking caps and start becoming innovative. Okay, when they do this, that is another angle that they can look at the data that they have got, as to what is it that they can do, what is the expertise that each one has got which can be given. Okay, I'm just saying this for it as a kind of a suggestion. See, the chefs are excellent when it comes to making the food, and so they can probably start sharing the knowledge of how to make it, because if somebody wants to cook at home, what is it that they can do for it. And yes, people at home, we don't really do a fancy table setting and things like that, but then I'm sure there are people, when they have guests at home, at least they want to do with it. Or birthdays will keep happening, wedding anniversaries will keep happening, children's birthdays will keep happening in that. So on that day, the mother and the father, the parents might want to do something special, right? So now how do you do? So how to do napkin foldings. So they can start talking about it, or the nuances of service, and what is the thing that can be done. And I'm sure people would like it. So now what happens is, with the benefit of this is you're sharing knowledge, and so you are keeping in touch with your customers, and they are happy that you have helped them in the part of it. So the customer relationship will become very, very strong. Now let us say the lockdown extends further. Okay, So they already have restaurants or hotels as the real estate. They're sitting on it. Okay. So how can they make use of that while keeping the social distancing and things like that? This is where we can. A lot of ideas can come up. So what is the central point that I'm talking about? It is track your complete way of doing things. Okay, I'm now talking as a business coach. This is how I start my work, and these are the next step that I do, next step till the end. So from beginning to end, when they look at the whole process of it, there would be a lot of things that they can do. One, either to improve the efficiency and reduce the costs for it, or make it a much more delightful experience for people. And a third way is to how they can present it to people and keep in touch with their customers, because that's something very important for it. See, every restaurant and every hotel has got a good database of all the people, at least who are regular with them. Okay, not just simply saying hello, how are you, is everything okay, kind of a thing. See, the low hanging fruits in that is, like these deliveries that keep happening. All right, I was not doing deliveries before, I started now. Yeah, it's okay. It's something very simple and logical, very quick step that can be taken. But how can we go beyond that? Real estate is very badly affected because construction is more or less stopped, and if the labor is always migrant labor, and for various reasons they've gone off to different places. So materials supply is getting affected, labor is not there, so real estate is suffering. Many businesses are going through this. This is the time to sit down, look back and say, hey, what can I do and how can I improve my business? Okay, so that is what I would be, I want to share with everyone, whoever is viewing this, as to look at this as an opportunity, not as a problem. Okay, look at this as a time to regenerate oneself and go back and look at it from fresh perspectives, which would have been blind to otherwise.
So when you're coming to your business, and like you mentioned, you used to have 6 businesses, and out of that,
right,
2 failed and 4 is being successful now. So let's go through that journey now. Like how was your journey of the 2 businesses when you came to know it's failing or it's in the process of failing? How did you take it up, or the mind of it?
Yes, we did learn from successes, and we have used it and to keep it growing and make it stabilized. My successful businesses has given us enough of income so that we could celebrate my sister's marriage in a very nice way. Of course, it's quite long back for it. Now her daughter herself is about 21 years of age. So it's about 23 years back itself. Our first business, which was dealing with flowers, which started, it metamorphosized, and now the last part of it is as a gift delivery services. Now that business is very badly affected for us. The business has come to a grinding halt. Okay, so now I went back, and it was completely run by others. I was not involved at all. Now this time I went in and I said, okay, all right, let's do these things and get ourselves much more stronger. So we're going to bounce back in that business very well after this, once the internet and gifting options start happening. Okay, now the business which I failed is supposed to be the strong point of mine, which is a restaurant business long ago before. That has taught me a lot of things. Is one of the key lessons is that people are the most important part in any business. All right, technical expertise while being there was not the key point of that. So we looked at that. We did not. I was able to sell that business and walk out of it when I realized that my bandwidth is not permitting me to be running over there. Okay, so that is something, and so that has taught me. The second lesson that I learned from there is look at finances very clearly. Okay, so how do you look at that? So, getting to plan B in that book, it is very beautifully explained as 5 components, 5 ways that you need to look at money. So if you learn from that and you analyze your own business, okay, that model, that 5 components of a business model is what I am sharing with the business owners I am consulting with right now, and helping them to analyze their business as to see, and so the efficiencies can come up and to do with that. So that is something that business has had taught me. So keeping and looking at this big picture and being very methodical and go about it. Though the businesses which is successful, also it has not been a smooth journey. It has seen its own ups and downs. It keeps going up and down. So how can you bring in your resilience and bounce back? And when it is going down, look at and analyze. That's very important. So that's basically is what I did. Success has helped me a little bit, especially financially. Certainly it has been very helpful, but the failures has taught me more about how to make a business success.
That's great. So now I think the lockdown period has extended for some more time now. But do you think, like, now generally, do you think this is a boon or a curse? The lockdown period.
I think I mentioned this earlier as well. It is how you look at it. All right. Is the glass half full or half empty? He's saying yes, it is half. You look at it as half full, then you will start making use of it. Converting that into real life terms this is what I have been sharing with people. He says, what is not there, identify that, but keep it aside. Okay. So because when you start getting, you'll be more grateful for it, that now that it is available. Okay, that is one part of it. The second part of it, why are you missing out on what you do have? Okay, start looking at your own. What are the resources that is available for you? What are the things that you can do? The most important resource for anyone is the time, and that time is available now. Okay, start doing it, start fine-tuning it, and make the things happen. So yes, initially, if we were talking about it at the beginning of the COVID, I wouldn't have said that, because there was a lot of changes that was happening too rapidly, and we were finding it difficult, and the enormity of it was hitting us very badly. Okay, now that a couple of weeks is gone, more than a month is gone from this particular part of it, and we have tried many of these things that I'm sharing now. I'm saying I'm very confident to say, please look at it as an opportunity that has come in your way. I don't like what is happening over there even today. I am very sad about a lot of things that is happening. But it's better to look at what can be done rather than what can't be done. Right? I think in the book, Chicken Soup for the Soul, there is one story where it says this. There was a huge problem and they wanted to do something for it, and they were looking at it was a hurricane which had devastated the US. So one person decided that he's going to do something and raise huge amount of money, which will go towards the part of it. So what did he do was he called his team of people, make them say, wrote on the flip chart. He says what we can do and what we can't do, and drew a line in the center of the page. Said what we can't do can neither help you nor help me or nor help those people we can help. So we will not talk about it. Let us look at what we can do, right? And that gave them a huge for it, and it was an excellent I'm sorry, I'm able to say that is the original Chicken Soup for the Soul book. It is one of the stories. I don't remember what is the name of the story. It could probably be Can Do or Can't Do or something like that. Only it would be there. So that is where it will come.
Anyway, thank you so much for your time, Anand. I appreciate it. This was a wonderful journey, because from this video, I think, or from this interview, I think people could understand the positives of this COVID, or maybe your journey, actually, especially as a business coach and as an entrepreneur as well. And then people should take things positively and look forward to how they can motivate others as well during this lockdown period.
Absolutely, that is what we say. And see, actually, that is the last note I want to say is, I am a business coach. Why I became, because my friends had asked me, and then later on it turned out, and then I started taking coaching from other people as well. How much ever the technology grows, as of now, I don't think somebody can replace a human being, either a teacher or a coach or a business owner or a leader. I don't think technology can replace the human being, because we have intelligence, not just only the intellect to analyze, we also have an intelligence to perceive things in a completely different way. Okay, so like right now when we come to it, what is it that one can use? If you go to Google, whatever I am saying, it is already available on this, but which one to take at what point of time you need somebody to guide you. So that would be something which would be worthwhile. So you must always have somebody whom we can talk to, and if somebody, if they're experienced in that field, all the best. All the better. So they would be able to help you through with that. Yeah,
definitely. When I make it a point myself, like even if I tend to keep friends or something of the circle who are older to me, because they always say if you have friends who are older to you, they give you advice from their experience. Like you mentioned, like Google, everything's available in Google, but if you speak to someone, they will have their own experiences to share with.
That is what it is. Then things will fall in the place. The time it takes, otherwise it will be short and will be brought down to a very small level when someone puts their thoughts and things from your point of view. So that's my experience on both sides of the table. Getting coached as well as coaching. That's the experience which I got.
Anyway, thank you so much, Anand, for your time. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Right. So for you and for all the people who are watching, a great thank you for you, and hope all the very best for you, and you'll come out of this challenge a much more stronger and much more prosperous and much more joyful for all of you. Thank you very much.
If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and comment down below. And to watch more informative and entertaining videos from CE Talks, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share it with your friends. Thank you.